man was a bona fide scrub.
On today's episode, we react to the winners and losers of the NBA draft. Some shocking picks within the top four. The New York Knicks make some controversial decisions. And we'll look at some possible outcomes for the NBA free agency's biggest stars. With Noah Levine, I'm Will Swankie. Welcome to the Bona Fide Scrub. This is episode 8. Coming to you a few days after the NBA draft. Approaching the month of July, which, Noah, I am condemning as the most boring, most uneventful month in sports.
Oh, I thought you were going to say in general.
Does not offer really very much
Anything.
in terms of sports news. So we might have to get creative here on the show. I don't know. We started this during the pandemic with no sports, so we
Survived that.
do have the ability to survive, yes, but we'll see what unfolds in July. There's really nothing. There's NBA free agency, which we'll get into a little bit. There's the MLB All-Star Game, but really,
This will take off a week.
I mean, it's the end of the NBA season. It's the middle of the baseball season, which continues on. It's the month before football really takes off because August you get training camp and preseason and all that. But right now in July, there's really not much to look forward to.
No, there is Wimbledon going on, but yeah, there's nothing really. There's, like, for a whole week, when they go to All-Star Weekend for the baseball stuff. I mean, that's fun events, but it's off for a week. There's like no sports for like some days. But if you're a WNBA fan, there is WNBA games during that week. Will you be watching a WNBA game with nothing on?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm up for that, but we'll see. All right, how about let's get into the draft. We've taken a few days to process everything that went down. Nothing completely out of the ordinary, although we'll start with the number one pick because it's the first pick announced. It's the most important. The Magic go with Banchero number one. We did not think that was going to happen. It seemed like that whole storyline completely unfolded a few hours before the draft, that they were undecided, that they didn't know what they were going to go for, and that Banchero emerged as the number one pick right before the draft started. So, I don't know, was this intentional by them to not select him to not have it rumored for him to go number one, or was it just a classic Magic failure of them making their decision last minute?
I don't know. I feel like it was a classic Magic decision, making it last minute. I saw like so many people bet on Jabari to go number one, and maybe they just spilled out the rumors to take everyone's money from the sports books. Maybe that's a possibility. You know, they're always trying to make extra money, and Paolo became the favorite like 20 minutes before the draft, but still a lot of more people bet on Jabari to go number one. It was kind of crazy that he actually went number one. I wouldn't have thought that, because we saw Woj tweet during his breakfast, probably at 8:30 in the morning, the first three picks are set in stone. And then hours later, obviously, keep leading up to the draft, it changes, it flip-flops last minute, and Paolo goes number one, which is kind of a shock because I really thought Jabari was the consensus number one guy, but it wasn't that bad of a pick because Paolo obviously is a really talented player. It would have been more surprising if they took Chet number one, because OKC was locked and loaded. They really wanted him. That was their guy the whole time. And that would have screwed OKC up if the Magic took Chet number one out of nowhere. I thought that would have been an even crazier storyline than Paolo going number one.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like these NBA teams are too calculated to just make a decision like that on the day of the draft. Like, I don't know how you can be that dumb if that really is the case.
Yeah,
but
they had 6 weeks since the lottery.
Right. Everybody makes the joke that, you know, they're on the clock, but they've been on the clock for a month. Like, I don't know. I don't see how you're going to make a decision for your franchise like that on the day, the hour before the draft takes place. I just feel like that has to be some sort of calculated decision because, I mean, when we look at the top three, it was up in the air. People didn't really know where each one was going to fall. We thought that it was going to be Jabari first. I mean, we said that he was the the best player of the three. So I don't know. I mean, it just seems like the Magic made a strange decision there. I mean, what do you think? Do you think that it was smart for them to take Banchero number 1?
I don't know, because after the draft, I looked up Jabari Smith highlights and was trying to find out why he didn't go first. But like, he can make any shot in the book. Like when you watch him, he could just turn around, shoot a fadeaway from 20 feet over anyone. Like he's that like tall and like can shoot over anyone. And he has decent handle. Obviously, we were complaining about that last episode. But just the pure shot making ability, I don't think I couldn't find a reason why he wouldn't go number 1. Just because he could pull up from anywhere and hit it, and I don't think Banchero has that ability yet. Although he's a better creator and maybe he's stronger, you know, he's 6'10", 250. That's a little like Jabari's a little skinnier. But I don't know. I just think shot making is just the most important thing, and the Magic needs scoring. So why don't they just put Jabari on the wing or on the block and just have him take fadeaways, have him ISO, and just shoot threes right in people's faces, because that's what he did all at Auburn last year.
And that leads to Jabari being taken number 3 by the Rockets, which is a steal to us. I mean, it just seems like they get the 3rd player in the draft. We'll see how that pans out. We'll see if he becomes great, like all the number 3 picks have for the last 5 years. They get another offensive star to pair with Jalen Green, and all the draft picks that they have over the next few years. It just seems like that core and that team is going to become an exciting team, because they have all the Nets picks for the next,
until 2027.
however many, like 7 years. So those, I mean, they're almost guaranteed to become top 5 picks at the end of that. So, I mean, they get to add Jabari Smith with Jalen Green. That is a young duo that is definitely very scary. I think that almost ends up being one of the steals of the draft, because we thought he was going to be the number 1 pick. We didn't realize that the Magic were going to be that stupid. And I don't know, I just feel like Jabari Smith and Jalen Green together have a chance to be an elite duo.
Yeah, I actually like Jabari fitting next to Jalen Green rather than Paolo, now I think about it, because Jabari doesn't need the ball to be great. Like, he's sort of like Kevin Durant in the aspect where he can play off the ball, he could curl around and hit jumpers. Because Jalen Green, as we saw Will last year, he was a ball-dominant scorer. I mean, he needs the ball in the pick and roll, he drives a lot. He takes a lot of threes. He dribbles around a lot, and Jabari really doesn't need to dribble to be great. He can just sort of he could be a catch and shoot guy, run off of screens and hit shots, or just post up and take a fade like Durant, as I mentioned. So I feel like this was a dream scenario for the Rockets, and I can't believe they actually got their guy, the number 1 pick at number 3.
And another shock within the top 4 was Keegan Murray going 4th to the Kings. Just like the Magic, another pick, which we didn't think was going to happen. We knew the Kings were kind of out on Ivy. We knew that they didn't really want to select him there. But I don't know how you could take Keegan Murray if you're out on Jaden Ivey because of whatever reason for your team needs. They just traded for Domantas Sabonis last year. Now they add another power forward that plays almost the same way. It just, I don't know. I don't know why they would do that. It was probably the one consensus pick everybody sort of was scratching their head at on draft night. I don't know. I just feel like it's a player that was overdrafted. He's not the youngest player in the draft. His potential is probably not as high as somebody like an Ivy or somebody that's much younger, more athletic. I don't know. I just feel like, I guess they believed in their guy, and that's, worth something. They didn't go for the team need draft pick, but I don't know. I don't think Keegan Murray was a top 4 pick in this draft. It just seemed like a mistake when you look at who they could have gotten and potentially the trade packages they could have gotten for that pick. I feel like that could have been worth more than taking Keegan Murray.
I agree. I think the Kings fumbled. They made the worst decision on draft night. I never really liked Keegan Murray that much as a player. I mean, he could be a good role player in the NBA, I'm sure, but why would you ever take this guy 4th overall? Like, he just went after Jabari Smith. Can we let that sink in? And Keegan, and obviously Ivy went 5th. Even if the Kings don't really like Ivy, you can still trade him. Like, you can still draft him and have him as an asset to trade later on. Keegan Murray is not really an asset teams are going to want. Even if they were like, okay, we can't find a trade for the 4th pick, why not just select Ivy and see how he plays for like a couple months with Fox, and and then like to maybe make his value higher, and then you could trade him or just like trade him for a wing or a position you actually need. It doesn't make any sense. I don't even know why, because the Kings selected Halliburton and played him with Fox, but now they don't want Ivy playing with Fox. Like, Davion Mitchell's a fine player, Will, but I don't think he's older. He's not gonna be. I don't think he's being as good as Jaden Ivey. So I mean, this is why the Kings haven't made the playoffs in like 15 years. They just keep doing stuff like this over and over and over again. Like, he drafted Thomas Robinson ahead of Dame. They drafted Jimmer 1 pick ahead of Clay. Bagley they took him over Luka. Like, it happens every year. They just take the trash guy over like the amazing guy.
Right, and now Ivy goes right after to Detroit. So
and
it
now
could
he's
happen
gonna be
again.
And he's gonna be really good probably. But I don't understand the Kings team building concept. Keegan Murray's a 6'8" power forward. He can't really handle the ball that well. I guess he's gonna have to be like a short stretch 4 because he can't really play the 3 as of now unless he like develops to become a better player. But he was just such a late bloomer. I don't know. He didn't really impress me when I watched him in March Madness either against Richmond. Like, he was the nation's leading scorer, but like he didn't really impress me. I feel like the first time in a while the nation's leading scorer didn't impress me in a March Madness game. Like, we know Jimmer, like Zion, all the other former leading scorers, like they jumped off the page when you saw them play against inferior competition. They were scoring like 30, 35. But Keegan Murray was like, he's okay. I don't think he's going to be anything great. I would have never guessed he would have been a top 5 pick after watching that game, but Sacramento's going to Sacramento, I guess, right?
Yeah. And then looking at the rest of the lottery, I mean, we did predict a few things correct. Obviously, Chet goes second to the Thunder. That was pretty easy to guess. Shaedon Sharpe did get picked by the Blazers, so they take the risk on him. We outlined why they might want to do that in our lottery show before the draft. After that, Dyson Daniels to the Pelicans. I think we got that as well. Let's see, Johnny Davis to the Wizards is another thing that we had. So we got a few of the picks right. We would have done really well if Jabari Smith went number 1. That would have gotten 2 more picks for us.
And I would have respected the Kings more if they took Shaedon Sharpe 4th. At least they're taking like a chance on a guy with a lot of potential. And he's probably going to be better than Keegan Murray, whether people like it or not. I just don't understand taking the 23-year-old number 4 or 22-year-old. It would have been more interesting if the Kings took Shaedon Sharpe to add to their core, but I don't know. I don't understand taking a guy like that in the top 4.
Yeah, I don't either. It just seems like...
Who did Indiana take at 6 again?
They took Mathurin.
Oh, yeah, Mathurin, okay. He went a little higher than we thought, actually, I think.
Really? I thought a lot of people were slotting him at 5 to Detroit.
Really? I don't know. I thought he was going to go like 8th or something. But I think that's a good pick for Indiana. He could play off the ball just like Halliburton. Like, him and Halliburton are pretty much interchangeable, and then they still have Duarte, Buddy Hield, Miles Turner. I mean, we were talking about their roster last time. Like, if they added another good rookie, they could become a pretty fun team to watch.
No, they could. And they're going to have to make some decisions because they still have Brogdon on their team.
Yeah, they couldn't move him.
They just drafted a wing to play guard, so they could potentially move him and get some more assets. So they're headed towards a pretty nice rebuild there in Indiana. We thought that the Pacers might trade Brogdon on draft night. They did not. A team that did make a trade, however, multiple trades, confusing trades that we didn't understand at first, was the New York Knicks.
And you're representing it.
Yeah, I know. I very sadly had to put on this Knicks warm-up before the show. Listen, I'll say this about the Knicks right off the bat, and then I'll let you go. I think people are overreacting to a lot of things they did on draft night.
I'm overreacting.
I think that people get very excited for the NBA draft. They want to add a new exciting player onto their team. They have this idea that maybe, potentially, possibly, almost, that this lottery pick could become a franchise player and could become an important player for your team in the future. As long as you get a player in the draft, at least that possibility is on the table. So I feel like people get very excited with that idea. And the NBA draft is a whole night. It's, a spectacle. It's an exciting day. So people want their team to participate and be involved in it. And when they don't, now you're not getting a new player. Now you're not getting that potential. Now you're sitting out the draft when you could be excited for the future. So I understand why fans will be upset at a team trading its picks and moving around and not really getting anything immediately in return. But Noah, did we really think that the number 11th pick was going to result in something great in the future? I mean, maybe, but I don't know. I don't think the odds are very high of that. So when you're looking at the Knicks in terms of gathering assets, we know this is a team that needs to make a push in the future to make a big jump. They can't just get these little players and really move the needle that much. So now that they have all these assets and all these draft picks for the future, they have an opportunity one day to maybe make a big splash. Now, the past history of the Knicks, we've seen their opportunities for that come and go, and they've completely failed at adding big free agents and doing these things for their team in recent memory. But I don't know. I feel like gathering these draft picks and future assets is not the worst thing they could have done. I understand the exciting potential of adding a rookie and being a part of the draft, but I don't really care that they didn't take a player at number 11. The people, if they could have gotten Ivy or made a move for that for somebody truly that could be impactful, I would be excited for that. But
they tried
just
to do
staying
that.
put and taking Duren or center or something at 11, I don't really care. That didn't happen.
Well, I don't care about that either, but it's the principle that they got rid of all these. I mean, I guess they got rid of the 11th pick from other picks. But the principle is they created the cap space for a player I do not want. That is why Knicks fans are upset. Because Jalen Brunson, they're going to offer him $100 million for 4 years. Why? Why is Jalen Brunson like the most talked about free agent this year? He's probably the worst like sweepstakes guy we've ever seen in our lives. Why do some people want him? He averaged 17 last year. It's just like I'd rather take a terrible rookie, honestly, at 11 than have Jalen Brunson on my team for that much money. Like, this is a cap sport, okay? Like, if this was baseball, we could just sign him and I wouldn't care. Like, I wouldn't think about like, oh, great, we got Jalen Brunson out of the team. We're going to be better. But since the salary cap is so tight and every move has to be so calculated if you're an NBA team, we already have Randall a $100 million deal. Think about it, Jalen Brunson might make just as much as him. Randall's on his deal like $115 million, like $108 million. Randall's total contract for 4 years. Brunson might get $100 million. Is Jalen Brunson close to the player Randall is? Maybe after last season, I don't know. Maybe you could say so. But Randall was a second-team All-NBA guy, and will Jalen Brunson ever reach that height? Probably not. So that's why I'm upset and why Knicks fans are upset. Yeah, taking a rookie, it wouldn't really do much, but we cleared cap space for a player that half the fan base really doesn't want.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I mean, they could still trade the picks and trade everything for somebody else.
Maybe Donovan Mitchell, I hope. But, like, maybe if they cleared this cap space to go after someone other than Jalen Brunson, I would have been ecstatic, honestly. But AJ Griffin was there at 11. We thought they originally traded down a pick. We saw them draft Usame Dang or whatever.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that next.
And we were all gonna we were all screaming at the TV like, what, we just drafted this guy, but no. OKC gets him or whatever, and they have a bunch of picks. They drafted 2 Jalen Williamses along with Chet. Good for the Thunder, but AJ, like, Duran was there, or Duran or whatever. The Pistons got him too. They kind of fleeced us for that. I mean, we don't even know if these picks are going to be useful next year. I mean, they're all high protected. Pistons kind of fleeced us. They kept Ivy, and they took one of our picks and turned it into a center who might start for them next year. Pistons were one of the winners of the draft. But at least they didn't completely do something out of the ordinary because their plan A failed. Getting Ivy, as we saw, they tried really hard last minute to talk to Sacramento and Detroit. Didn't happen. At least they didn't just like actually select Useme Dang or just panic and take someone that's not going to play for them. At least they moved it,
Right.
I guess, for assets, and I don't know. I mean, they're just trying to clear cap space for Jalen Brunson. I'm just not the biggest fan of that.
Yeah, they just didn't like anybody at that spot, and that's fine.
That's fair.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I think not selecting a guy that you're not confident in is worth something. You get picks for the future. Maybe in those drafts there'll be somebody that is actually enticing at those spots, and you have an opportunity to add a player to your team that you do really want. It was so funny though with the number 11 pick selecting Ousmane Dieng and having everybody freak out because it's just another Porzingis, another Ntilikina situation where it's an overseas player that barely averaged any exciting statistics. Nobody's seen him play. Nobody knows anything about him. If you're just a casual fan watching the draft, and to see that reaction from everybody in the arena, it happened again for the Knicks. That's
reaction.
That's so unfortunate for him because he was picked by the Knicks and everybody freaked out, even though he really wasn't. So he could have had a more exciting draft night if the Thunder really did pick him and cheered about it. But I don't know. It was very funny to see the Knicks that have that reaction again.
Yeah, and I was hearing from so many people how deep this draft class is, but like I don't really believe that at all. I feel like they say that for every year. I don't personally, from watching a lot of these guys, I really don't think there's that many good players in this draft. Like, I mean, history shows us that 50% of these guys probably aren't going to do shit in their careers. Like they're going to be out of the league in a couple of years or just being bench warmers. Like, I don't know. I remember like Lonnie Walker, who we thought would be a pretty good player. He was drafted in the teens by the Spurs. He doesn't really do much for the Spurs, honestly, and people like Keldon Johnson, randomly drafted later on, become much better players. So, I mean, anything can really happen. Keegan Murray, 4th, was an abomination by Sacramento. Useme Dang, I think, is going to be out of the league in 3 years. That's my prediction. I don't really like a lot of these guys, honestly. Shane Sharp's boomer bust. He could be Skal Labissiere, or he could be...
yeah.
Or he could be an all-star, or he could be really good. So I don't know. I mean, that makes me feel a little better that the Knicks didn't draft someone that is going to be bad in 2 years. But you're right. It is more exciting to see someone on your team get drafted and play right away.
Yeah, because you get that entertainment of adding a rookie that you have hope in. Like, there is hope that a player you've never seen in the NBA could come in and be amazing right away, or be amazing in 3 years. That is on the table if you take a draft pick. It just isn't if you don't. So I know why people are, freaking out about that. Who in the top 10 do we think is going to be the biggest flop? Do we think, because we've been wrong. I mean, we think Patrick Williams is going to be trash and it becomes decent.
Oh, come on.
Okoro,
well,
we thought he was going to be trash and he is. So I don't know. It's hard for us to know. We thought Scotty Barnes was a failure at 4, and he was a beast. So
that's true. We both thought Halliburton was going to be good, and he is good.
Yeah,
so we got that right. For me, it's Keegan Murray, and okay. So the top 10. So it's Paolo, Chet, Jabari, Keegan, Ivy, Mathurin, Shaedon Sharp, Dyson Daniels, Pelicans, Jeremy Sochan, and Johnny Davis. Yeah, if I had to pick 2 guys, I think it's Keegan Murray. And if it was Sochan with a different team, I would feel worse about him. But he's on the Spurs, and they've shown us for decades that they're able to find these random guys and develop them into like useful players. Like they found Derek White out of nowhere, and he became a decent piece, and he was on the Celtics finals team. Like Keldon Johnson, I mean, I liked him at Kentucky. He wasn't drafted highly. He's a useful player. I mean, he's not bad at all. And they just keep finding these guys. I mean, DeJounte Murray was like, the 20-something pick, and now he's an all-star. So I'm not going to make fun of Sochan just yet. I don't really like that pick, though, 9th. I mean, I just think Dyson... so I'm going to go with Dyson Daniels and Keegan Murray. Dyson Daniels didn't really show that much in the G League Ignite. He doesn't really have that much of an offensive game. I mean, he's a tall guy who could pass. But, like, he's not like Josh Giddey. He's not like a true point guard like that. And Giddey was definitely more talented, I feel like, from just watching them two from the eye test. So I don't think. Yeah, I think those two guys are gonna flop, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's realistic. I think Boncaro to the Magic is gonna be really interesting to watch because
Yeah.
we thought that they got a steal last year, taking what's his name, the point guard,
Suggs, and he was terrible.
right, Jalen Suggs. We thought that was genius by them, adding a
They
great
got
player who
Franz.
just had
Franz
an
was
amazing
better.
tournament,
Yeah.
and he was a complete failure for who knows why. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he'll develop into a good player, but they weren't able to get much out of him his rookie year. So will it be the same case scenario with Boncaro? I mean, it's a different skill set. It's a different type of player. Boncaro's probably a better prospect coming out. But I don't know. I mean, the Magic have taken tons of wings in the lottery over the past however many seasons.
Mario
And they don't have a
Hezonja.
single one to show for it out of all these
Franz?
players.
Franz, their second pick actually, which was a little high, I thought, 8. He became way better than Suggs. He was one of the Rookie of the Year candidates. He averaged 15.
Right.
I mean, he's gonna be
he's
better
been the
in
only
year
one.
2.
Out of Jonathan Isaac and Aaron Gordon and all these people that they've taken, Franz has been the only one
He's gonna
to
be better in year 2.
show anything right away.
Yeah, I don't think Jalen Suggs. It's too early to call him a bust. Just a rough rookie year. Didn't shoot well. I do feel like he would still become a good player. I'm not gonna be out on him just yet. But Paolo number 1, that is interesting. They do need a shot creator who could score because they don't have that many of those. It kind of does. I feel like drafting Paolo fits their need more than drafting like for talent, because I think Jabari is more talented, but he's not the guy who's gonna dribble around and create for others. So maybe they wanted the more of that in Paolo because someone who could really anchor the offense. So, well, I mean, we'll wait and see. But I mean, out of the top 3 guys, well, I mean, history shows us one of these guys is gonna be a bust. So out of Jabari, Chet, and Paolo, will all 3 of them bust, or will all 3 of them be good, or will one of them bust? Will 2 of them bust? What do we think?
Yeah, I guess you have to play the odds and think at least one.
At least one. If you had to pick one.
Yeah. So I don't know. I am leaning towards saying Boncaro is going to be the bust.
Really?
I
thought you were gonna say Chet.
I think the Magic have the worst track record of player development. I think they don't have what it takes. I don't know what their future even holds. I mean, they have a decent young core, but it kind of isn't going anywhere. I mean, other than Wagner, they have nobody who has shown any promise really out of the players that they have. I mean,
Cole
they're
Anthony's
okay
pretty
role
good.
players. Bamba's
Yeah.
an okay role player.
Bamba's not
Cole-
okay. He's terrible.
He's terrible. I thought he averaged like 10.
No, Wendell Carter's better than him.
Okay, yeah, I guess so. I want to see his stats. I thought he averaged like 10 and 7. Or was
Did
it
he?
just
I
for like
don't
a
know.
month?
Maybe that was for a month. I
No,
feel like
he
didn't
averaged
play
10
that
and
much.
8 last year.
Oh, well, Isaac is actually pretty good, but he just hurt all the time.
Yeah, so 10 and 8, he's fine. I mean, he was the 6th pick. Like, it's bad that he didn't become DeAndre Ayton or Embiid even. Like, it was not worth it, but 10 and 8 is fine. He's a fine role player. Cole Anthony's a fine role player. But they just don't. I guess they're hoping Boncaro could be that guy. I don't know if I see it, though. I think he
feel
should
like
have been the third pick.
I don't know. I feel like I low-key believe in him more than Chet, just because of Chet, like, just being... I don't know. I mean, he needs the physical ability, but, like, what if he doesn't add that much of that? He is so
I think
talented.
Chet is the obvious pick to be a failure. But I just don't
Yeah,
think it will be.
Yeah, that is the obvious pick. I don't know. I mean, OKC, him on that gimmicky team of Poku and all those guys, it could be bad. Presti could get fired if that doesn't work out. I don't know. I guess, yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Chet. I feel like the center. I'm never gonna. I don't want to trust centers in the top 3 anymore.
Yeah, I guess he does have that going for him too, being a center.
Like, you don't need
But
a
they
great
just-
center to have a good basketball team.
But he's such a
now.
different type of center.
I know, that's true.
He's-
He can really
he's a-
dribble and shoot. I get it.
Yeah. He has the
I
versatility.
mean, all
He's
these.
going
I mean,
to a
all these
team
guys
that
are.
values his skill set and knows what to do with it.
I mean, all these guys are very versatile and they have different abilities. I mean, if we compare them to last year's top three, and we all think they're going to be great players, Cade, Jalen Green, and Mobley, is this year's top three better than last year's top three?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
I mean, I think 2021 was definitely better. But what if Shep becomes like an all-world player and Jabari actually becomes like 10-time All-Star scoring champ?
Well, I guess that's possible.
It is possible for any of these guys.
Look at what the top three did last year. I mean, Cade, he averaged 20. Jalen Green averaged almost 20. And Mobley averaged like 17 and 7.
Yeah. I think,
So
yeah,
they're
I
all
think,
great
I
right
think,
away.
yeah, that's true. I think this year's draft class is going to struggle a little more coming in. Like Chet adjusting to the NBA, how strong those guys are. Paolo, poor shot selection. And Jabari really isn't very good at creating his own shots sometimes. I think they're all going to struggle at moments this year. So, yeah, I would say 2021, like Cade and Jalen Green, those guys were fantastic out the gate, I feel like.
Yeah, they were. And
I mean,
they're all the cornerstones of their franchise now right away.
Yeah, I mean, Jabari, I mean, he has Jalen Green to help him out. That is a good point. Oh, yeah, so I'm just looking at some other draft classes. So 2019, we had Zion, Ja, and RJ as the top three. I think all three of them are pretty good so far. Like, I think all of them are going to be successful. Ja and Zion were already all-stars. Maybe if RJ becomes an all-star, we can put that to rest. People still don't believe in him, I feel like.
Yeah,
but
people think that he's way worse than he is. It's sad.
yeah, he averages more than Brunson. He's better than Brunson. Like, come on. Okay, so 2018, we had Ayton, fine player. Bagley, obviously, on his second team already, the Pistons. And Luka went third. So Bagley was kind of a fail. 2017, Fultz and Lonzo back-to-back. And then Tatum and Fultz is on a second team, Orlando. Lonzo's on a second or third team already in Chicago. Neither of them were franchise changers. And
yeah, how about that? 2 point guards taken that both flopped.
yeah. And then
Lonzo's on his
Tatum's a great
third team.
player.
Did you say second
I said
team or
third
third team?
Third team.
Okay, good.
And then obviously 2016 we had Ben Simmons, Brandon Ingram, Jaylen Brown. Ben Simmons is on a second team.
That should have been good. That
He
should have been
good,
all
but if he never plays,
successful.
if he never plays again, I'm just gonna label him as a bust. Like 3 good years.
Well, yeah, you have to.
Yeah, like that's not gonna work. Jaylen Brown, Ingram are great. 2015 Cat, deloading Okafor. Okafor failed. One of these guys always fails. 2014 Wiggins, Jabari Parker, torn ACL, failure. Embiid went third, the superstar. Every year, 2013, Anthony Bennett, auto failure at number 1. Oladipo was fine, second. I don't even know who the third pick was this year. I'm going to have to click on this.
That was just a god-awful draft.
Otto Porter, third. Yeah, that was...
Yeah.
None of these guys were good. Otto Porter's on the Warriors as a role player now. So, yeah, as every draft, the top 3, it seems like there's a really exciting good player, a really like mediocre player who's a fine player, and then the garbage player. I feel like that's what happens every time. So I'm gonna go with the god player Jabari, the mediocre player Chet, and then the garbage player Paolo.
Yeah, what?
That's how we have to do it.
Are we sleeping on Jabari being the bust? We haven't talked about that at all. He is mostly a shooter. Is the fact that he's going to struggle to create his own shot more than the others, is that going to be a problem?
I don't think so, because I mean you can develop that. He's the youngest of the 3. I just think his shooting ability is just too good. Like I think he'll find a role. He could find a role and play with anyone because he could play off the ball so well. And he's so tall and lengthy. Like he's still gonna be able to dribble in the lane, and, like shoot over people. It's possible. I mean, any of these guys could be bad, but I just like his work ethic, and I think him playing next to Jalen Green, they're both gonna learn a lot from each other. Just playing with just 2 dynamic scorers. And I mean, most of these wings. I mean, Kevin Durant didn't really have that great of a ball handling ability. I feel like his first couple of years. Jaylen Brown, Tatum, I mean, they weren't really dribbling the ball that much. They were sort of just like shooting threes, shooting pull-up shots. I don't know. I think it's something you can develop. I mean, we're still waiting for RJ to develop it. He's got better at it this year, his playmaking, but I don't know. I believe in Jabari the most out of these guys.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Just because
the Rockets
of scoring.
I'm excited for the Rockets. I think their future is really exciting.
Good for them.
I feel like they shouldn't have traded Christian Wood even. I feel like they could have kept him.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Their lineup with Kevin Porter, Jalen Green, Jabari Smith. I don't know who their power forward is going to end up being at this point. But they have Shenjun at center also, another young player.
And they're going to be bad
Like, they
this
have
year.
an opportunity.
They're going to have 2 good picks this year. Well, actually, no.
Yeah, they're going to have an opportunity to have a great young core. I know they have all the Nets draft picks for the next however many years.
And they have all the cap space. Like, nobody on their team is making anything.
Yeah, so they could add a god player once their other players become good.
You know what? They should be the team adding Jalen Brunson, not the Knicks, because Kevin Porter's not really a point guard. He has locker room issues. Why not add Jalen Brunson with Jalen Green and Jabari? Like, why can't they should just do that?
Well, they
and,
have
a decent team.
They should have kept Wood and did that, and then had an actual playoff team.
Yeah, they could have tried for the play-in with Jalen Brunson, Wood, and the other 2.
Yeah, they had an opportunity there to be actually good almost right away.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Wait, actually,
anything else on the draft?
Who's gonna win Rookie of the Year? Wasn't top 3 picks last year. It was Scotty Barnes this year, 4th pick. Who's winning Rookie of the Year? Imagine if Keegan Murray wins Rookie of the Year.
I mean, it basically happened last year. Scotty Barnes is the Keegan Murray of last year.
You know what? I'm gonna think outside the box. I'm going with Ivy is gonna win Rookie of the Year.
Okay, I mean, is that really outside the box?
It's not. I mean, he's the 5th pick, but I think everyone just assumes the top 3 guys are gonna be great right away.
I guess, yeah.
I'm going with Ivy. I think he's gonna have a great year for Detroit, and he's gonna average like 17, win Rookie of the Year. He's gonna be dynamic with Cade. He's gonna be dynamic.
It is tough to know.
Less than a minute.
All right, less than a minute. Okay, we'll back out then. Yeah, for my Rookie of the Year pick, I don't want to agree with you because I don't want to be boring, but it's hard not to go with the point guard. I mean, you can look at the Rookie of the Years from the last 10 years, and all of them have been guards except for one.
Actually, I had no idea.
Yeah,
I did not know that before I said that.
Now, there are some ones that are kind of cheating, like Andrew Wiggins won Rookie of the Year. Is he a small forward? Is he a shooting guard? I don't know. You can go either way. Scotty Barnes, Rookie of the Year.
He's a wing,
He was kind of a forward, but played point guard a little bit for the Raptors. So there's guards and then there's forwards with guard tendencies. The only Rookie of the Year to not be a real guard in any way is Karl Anthony Towns in the last 10 years.
Wow.
So
who are you picking?
It's hard not to go with the guard.
Haha, I stole it from you.
Will Chet Holmgren be the first center to win Rookie of the Year since Towns? I think it's possible. I think it's possible because he's going to a system that knows how to develop young talent, that's going to want him to have the ball to succeed right away. He's going to have good playmakers like Shea and Josh Giddey to get him the ball in moments where he can take advantage of it. I think that Holmgren has a shot to be Rookie of the Year, the first center in the last, 7 years to win Rookie of the Year, not a guard for the first time in a decade.
Yeah, I was thinking about why. I was digging deeper into my brain why I picked Ivy, and I just think he's honestly, he might have the ball the most out of these guys, because I was thinking like Paolo, the Magic have so many guys. They still have to develop Suggs. Cole Anthony shoots a lot. They want Bamba, Isaac, Wendell Carter, Franz. They have so many mouths to feed. I don't know if Paolo's going to score a lot right away. And then looking at Chet, like you mentioned, I feel like since he's the most project type out of the guys, I don't know how much really they're going to play him, obviously, at the start of the season, try to get him adjusted. And obviously they have Shea. They just have a weird team, so I just don't think Chet... I mean, by the end of the year, he should be playing 30 minutes a night at center, and we'll see what he does. And then Jabari, I think he's the second best chance behind I picked Ivy. Jabari, they just got rid of Christian Wood, so shots are going to open up for Jabari, but I just don't think he's also not like a project, but I don't think he's going to be great right out of the gate, So I think Jalen Green's really the alpha of that team. And then with Detroit, they just
Well,
traded
you
away
don't think
Jeremy.
Cade Cunningham is going to be the same thing?
Yeah, but
It's the same thing.
It's kind of the same thing with Detroit and the Rockets. Those are my top two guys because Detroit, they just got rid of Jeremy Grant, another 20 points per game scorer, and the Pistons are like the worst offense in the league. Like they score the least points. It's just gonna be Cade and Ivy, and I think they're gonna experiment with having Cade and Ivy off the floor, or like they're gonna have Ivy on the floor and Cade off the floor. They're gonna try laps like that, and I just think he's gonna have the most opportunity to shoot and just play and do whatever he wants on his team. So I'm gonna go with him, and I just think he's gonna slightly average more than Jabari because he's more NBA ready right now. So that's why I could see Ivy averaging 17. And I think Jabari would finish second, averaging like 15 or something, and then Rookie of the Year running.
Yeah, I mean, your pick is statistically the most likely. I'd love to see the odds. I don't know what the odds are for best Rookie of the Year.
Let's see.
Rookie of the Year. Let's see. It's Boncaro plus 350.
Ivy's plus 650.
Yeah, I mean, it's the top. It's the top three, and then Ivy.
Ooh, Ivy
Jabari's
plus
plus
680.
420.
Might have to bet on Ivy.
You could. I think that would be a smart bet. Holmgren's third at plus 480. So yeah, I mean, it's those four. That's kind of what
Not
we think.
Keegan Murray. What's Keegan Murray actually his odds?
Let's see. I don't even know if they have it. Let me see. He is 1100.
Yeah, and he went fourth. He went before Ivy.
Yeah, yeah.
What about
Let's
like
see, is
any
there
of the other
anybody
guys?
in the
What are long
doldrums
shot?
here that could be shocking?
Shannon Sharp? I don't know.
Sochan is 5,000.
No
So if you
way.
believe in the Scotty Barnes Spurs potential,
No.
you can go with him.
What about Mathurin? What if,
Mathurin is 1,500.
not bad.
Diang, you want to take the long shot on him? 3,200.
No.
The Jokic clone is plus 13,000. He's on the list.
Yeah, he's not winning it. What team is he on even? I forgot.
He's on the Heat.
The Heat do develop random people. Like Gabe Vincent and Max Strauss became players for them. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. That took a while. It wasn't Rookie of the Year.
No. What about what's his name? Shannon Sharp. I would like him as a long shot. Just because the
1,800.
pure talent. Yeah, okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, so your pick definitely, I would probably be betting on that, honestly, with the odds. I like it.
Yeah, it's not bad.
All right, let's move on to NBA free agency / Brooklyn Nets. I guess that's going to dominate the talk here. I'll go with hot take off the bat. I think that this NBA free agency, which is usually the most exciting free agency by far, I think is going to be dwarfed by NFL free agency.
Is that
I don't
a hot
think anything is going to top that.
I don't think anything's gonna happen.
We had the crazy. I mean, Brady went in and out of retirement. Wilson got traded.
Devontae Adams
not
traded.
DK Metcalf. Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, both traded. I think that's by far going to be the more exciting, more crazy offseason. I don't know what's going to happen for the NBA. I don't think much. We've already seen a lot of opt-ins. Westbrook opted in, of course. He's not going to turn down $50 million
That's crazy.
to be the player that he is at this point. Kyrie as well opted in to his $35 million for this year. So I guess let's just open with the Lakers and Westbrook because he opts in. They have to run back their team basically because they have no cap space.
No chemistry either.
Yeah, the Westbrook thing was just an absolute disaster for a team that won the championship a few years ago. They are stuck in the mud. They can't really do anything with their team. They have no flexibility. Nobody's going to want to trade for Westbrook. So LeBron's chances to win a ring next year are not looking the best with him and AD. I guess they really thought that Westbrook could take their team to the next level after they won a ring with bad players like Caldwell Pope and Kuzma, and it was a flop. Le GM completely made a terrible decision adding Westbrook to the team.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work. What But Kyrie Irving, he said he wanted to leave. Then a day later, he decides to opt in. If he didn't opt in,
we
could have
knew
talked
it was a flop. We knew that he was not going to leave.
We could have talked about all the places he went, potential trades. But now he's staying, and the Nets prepared to lose KD and Kyrie. That's what Windhorst reported yesterday morning. And they're both staying. So Kyrie opted in. He's just a clown. He wanted the attention. I don't even know why he said that, but then opted in to $38 million. So the Lakers fans' hopes of Kyrie ever teaming up with LeBron is dead. It's never happening again.
It's dead. It never was realistic.
Yeah, the Nets were never gonna want Westbrook and whatever the Lakers were gonna give them anyway. But I would have wanted to see Kyrie leave any team because I wanted to see where KD would have ended up because that was the more wild card, I think. I feel like everybody's pointing Kyrie to the Lakers, but where would Kevin Durant want to play? He can't play the Lakers, obviously. Imagine if he went back to OKC or something. Obviously, he wants a contender.
Yeah.
The Knicks.
I don't know. I don't know what teams had the opportunity to trade.
The Heat
for
don't
him.
really have him. I don't know if the Heat could do it. The Clippers already have Paul George and Kawhi. I don't really know. The Warriors aren't gonna get him. I don't know where he would play. He would just be stuck alone probably.
Yeah. And now they have to run their team back with. Is Ben Simmons gonna play?
No.
Next year, what's going to happen with that? Is Kyrie going to be normal? Is he going to play when
Every
healthy?
game.
It just seems like the Nets, they have a chance to win next year. They were about to have nothing. They were about to go through this whole era, losing Kyrie and trading Durant and having nothing to show for it.
For 5 picks.
The last memory of them getting swept in the first round. That would have been
been awesome.
Horrible. If you're the Nets, but it would have been amazing for us, and I would have enjoyed it very much.
Yeah. I don't know what the Nets are going to do. I guess they just have to run it back. This is their real last opportunity with Ben Simmons, because Kyrie actually could be a free agent after this year, so he's free to sign wherever. So this is the real last year, I guess, to run it back. Can the Nets salvage their failures, their decade-long run failures? Can they salvage Kevin Durant signing with them? And Kyrie and trading for Ben Simmons. Can they salvage and win a championship this year? Because all of the drama kind of gets erased if they win, but I don't think they will win.
Yeah, I don't know how they could win. The rest of their team is still horrible.
Yeah, they have 3 players. Ben Simmons isn't even that good anymore. He hasn't played in a year.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Can KD and Kyrie drag them somewhere? No.
They tried it this year. They got swept. They got swept in the first round with the same team.
Right. We have to remember that both of them did play. It's not like they weren't playing in the playoffs.
They played every game and got swept.
They were barely competitive in the first round. So it just, they get a year to do it. But we'll see. We'll see what happens to Kyrie Irving in the future of his NBA career because the Nets aren't going to sign him to long term. There's no way you can do that.
Yeah. Maybe if you're that desperate, I don't know.
And then some other things. Bradley Beal, kind of up in the air.
Supermax.
Yeah, he's probably just going to re-sign with Washington. Zach Levine's probably going to go back to Chicago.
Yeah, everyone's going to go back. Maybe Donovan
I don't think
Mitchell
there's going to be many people on the move.
Maybe Donovan could be the only one on the move, but obviously the Knicks probably aren't going to get him because they're going to go after Jalen Brunson before him.
Yes, the most exciting storyline of the offseason is the Knicks signed Jalen Brunson.
And then Donovan Mitchell is going to end up in Miami, and then the Heat are going to have their own little super team going.
They're gonna make the finals with that team, I bet.
I know. Why can't they? Like Jimmy, Bam. They almost make the finals every time with Jimmy and Bam. Now they add Donovan Mitchell instead of Gabe Vincent. Like, come on. They still have Lowry. Like, that team's going to be great. And they have Hero. Well, no, Hero will be gone. But you know what I mean.
All right, and then we have this thing you want to bring up with Russell Westbrook and Skip Bayless calling him that. Yeah,
it was funny. Skip tweeted he was tweeting during the draft about the Lakers as usual. Lakers acquire second round, take Michigan State's Max Christie, who shot only 32% from 3 last season. Perfect. He'll fit right in with LeBron and Westbrook. and Westbrook responds saying, "Yo, watch your mouth. Don't say anything you wouldn't say to my face." And then Skip tweets at him again and says, "Hey, at Russell Westbrook, happy to talk face to face about the nickname I believe I originated in 2012. Join me on TV/podcast. Let's talk about how you make 47 mil next year after being the worst 3-point shooter in the NBA. That was in all caps. Most overpaid player ever, in all caps. He says, then again, please join me. And then Westbrook doesn't answer anymore. But just that was really funny. It was a more Twitter beat, bro. KD and Westbrook and all these people are just going in on analysts, Stephen A. and Skip, and they're responding.
Yeah, they're never gonna win because those people's jobs is to be entertaining and to just like stir up things that they can talk about and be funny. And you can't deny that Skip. I mean, that's a funny response to Westbrook.
Yeah.
And like he knows how to be entertaining and stir things up. So, I mean, you're just feeding into exactly what he needs to happen. I mean, they're gonna talk about it. I'm sure. They probably did talk about it on Undisputed, whether or not, Westbrook just opted in. Shannon is a big Lakers, like he hypes with the Lakers every year, and LeBron, like they definitely can get into this on the show. So Westbrook,
I want to see Westbrook
join
them.
Talking point.
Do you think there's a chance Westbrook goes in Undisputed?
No.
Do you think he'll ever go in Undisputed? I want to see
ever, maybe.
I want to see LeBron go on this. Will that day ever happen? Will Skip be sitting across from
it would be the most legendary sports talk day of all time. I don't know how. I mean, Shannon is literally friends with him. Like I don't know why.
He comments on they comment each other's photos all the time.
I guess LeBron realizes that
he's giving
he would
Skip
just be
the power.
Juicing Skip like the most clout of all time if he did that, and he just can't do it.
I don't know. I want to see that. Like before the Skip retires, he should be like my buddy LeBron, who have a critic for 20 years.
Skip's last show, when LeBron is retired and he's like 43, Skip will be like 75, and they'll have him on. Maybe that's possible.
Yeah, my favorite player that criticized for the past 25 years is finally joining me.
Yeah. I think that's a perfect transition into officially NNN. I feel like that's a very NNN story, and we can just keep it moving.
Yeah, so NNN, I'm no Levine, and shoot, what was my saying always? I lost my fastball. It's been a while.
You want to be the greatest news network of all time or something? I don't know.
I'm going to be the greatest journalist in the world.
Yeah.
I bring the best news. Yeah, we'll have to find out what I actually said it the last couple times, but a little rusty. Just cut me some slack. So on today's NNN, I saw this thing on Instagram, so then I further researched it. So traveling around the world with Disney for $100,000, and I'm going to read you what is a part of this. So the vacation spans 24 days, visits 6 different countries, including all 12 Disney theme parks, as well as 3 iconic landmarks: the Taj Mahal. Taj Mahal, yeah. The pyramids of Giza.
I mean, it's pretty famous. I feel like you should know what it is.
No, I know what it is. I still know it's Mahal. I didn't realize it was Mahal. Okay. So the Taj Mahal, pyramids of Giza, and the Eiffel Tower. And you'll visit LA, Anaheim, San Fran, Tokyo, Shanghai, Hong Kong, India, Cairo, Paris, Orlando. The trip's for 75 people. It starts July 9th, 2023.
For 75 people?
Yeah, there's 75 people only allowed on it. So it starts July 9th, 2023, and goes until August 1st, 2023. There's an age limit. The kids must be at least 12, but I recommend at least 14. And you obviously get 68 meals given to you: 23 breakfasts, 22 lunches, 22 dinners.
Yeah, that's every day. So
you arrive at the LA airport. So it's 23 nights, 24 days. But the price is $109,000 per person. Would you do this?
Per person?
Would you pay $100,000 to travel the world and see every landmark and Disney thing?
Well, presumably, if I'm going with like at least like 3 people, then that's like $400,000.
Only rich people can go on this.
No, like what? I could just do that. If I was really gonna do that, I mean, how much do you think it costs to just do it without that? With just you buying all the food, you going and traveling everywhere. It's probably like 30,000. You probably lose 70 grand.
I would say half 100,000, so 50,000 to travel to all those places, flights and everything, and hotels, and then food. I would probably say 50,000, and it's all in a 24-day span too.
I don't know, I think it's less. I think it's like 25 to 35. I think you
You
get
want
away
to do
with
that?
it.
Should we just do that and see how much it costs?
Yeah,
20
let's do it just to
do
figure it out.
Just a 24-day vacation seeing every Disney park. Well, obviously you would probably get access to all the Disney parks too and stuff.
No, I mean you get stuff for
you
doing
probably
it
get
with them.
free. You probably get free stuff too.
No, yeah, there's some benefit, but I think you just lose so much money. I don't know. Obviously, if you care about spending $100,000, you're not doing it. Like people that just don't care will do it, so
Yeah,
they don't have
the
to
rich
worry about
people.
that.
All right, so out of the three,
Oh, hold on. I have a travel
what?
thing to bring to the show. I sent this in the chat today. Did you see the airplane cruise? Did you click on this when I sent
No.
it? It's like I mean it's not real yet. I think it's supposed to be happening, but it's basically a cruise ship but an airplane. So it's a giant airplane with it can house 5,000 people, like a cruise ship. There's like a big entertainment deck. There's a 360 like panorama deck. You could look out
On the
like
plane?
onto the sky on the plane. You sleep there. There's rooms. It's like a cruise ship, but it's on a plane. My question is, why would you ever want to do this? You could just do everything you could do
My question
on
is
this
why
plane.
wouldn't
You
my
could just
question
do
is,
it on the Earth. Why would you want to do it in the air?
My question
is there
is
a desire for that?
why wouldn't you want to do this?
What? So you would want to be on a plane for like weeks? Why would you
Well,
want to
I don't
do
know.
that?
I don't know. I don't know who said it was weeks though. If it was like 4
Well,
days.
it's at least a week. It's at least a few days. It's like a
But, like,
cruise. I mean, think
but
about a
what-
cruise. You're on a
But
cruise
where
for
you
like a week.
station? Where you station the air for? Do they have the fuel to even? Do they have the fuel to
It's,
stay up for 4 days
It's
in a
powered
row?
by nuclear energy.
Oh,
So you're sleeping next to a bunch of nuclear bombs in the sky
that's I
that
feel
are
like
powering your airplane.
I feel like the plane's gonna blow up if I'm on it for 4 days.
Let's see. What is this? The air cruise. It's like, it's literally a 5,000 person plane.
All right, how much money is this to go on this? It's not 100,000 like the.
I
Disney
mean,
trip.
I didn't. It's not my show. I just brought it in as a funny thing I saw. I don't have the research. I'm not the greatest journalist in the world. That's you.
Yeah,
So-
that's true. I'm the best news source out there.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw it on.
I mean, that'd be kind of cool though. Imagine you going on like a honeymoon on that plane for like a week. Would
no,
you? If your
why would you
honeymoon
want to
all
be on a plane for a week?
I'm thinking.
Why?
I'm thinking about it, like your
Here we
parents
go.
asked you, "Where'd you on your honeymoon?"
I found
and
the
you're
New York
like,
Post story.
all right.
I found it. Yeah, a giant nuclear-powered flying hotel with a gym and swimming pool for 5,000 people.
5,000 people can fit on that. Is that what you
Yeah.
just said? That's
Yes.
too many. I don't want to see that many people on a plane.
20 engines powered by nuclear fusion, designed to run 24/7. Repairs will be carried out during the flight. It's called the Sky Cruise.
All right, I have a
I
better
mean,
question.
it's not. I don't think it's real, but it's like
It
it's
could be real.
supposed to be happening.
I mean, why can't Elon Musk make something like that?
I don't know. He can't get to Mars. He's flopping.
He's gonna get to Mars in like a couple of years. I thought he said.
All right. What is your question?
Would you do the space? Would you do the cruise but in space? How about that? Does that entice you a little more?
No, I mean that's worth it. You actually can't do all these things you could do on the land in space. You have to be
Okay.
on a giant ship for that. So it's enticing. It's instead of just looking at clouds, you're actually in an environment that's brand new. And I mean, look, this is basically. I mean, it's basically Wall-E. I mean, what were they doing in space? They freaking
Being
were on
fat.
a giant spaceship with all like cruise stuff with a swimming pool and like all the same things. So that's what we're headed towards one day.
All right, 1 second. You're lagging. Yes,
Okay.
the space thing, that would be funny. It'd be just funny though, coming back, like your parents like, where'd you go on your honeymoon? Oh, I went on the Sky Cruise for a week. We just sat on a plane for a week.
Big L for doing that.
I would do it, but not for a week. All right, so out of the Disney locations, Since there's only 3 of the iconic landmarks, the Taj Mahal, Giza, or the Eiffel Tower, which one are you picking? If you had to pick one to see.
I don't know. I mean, Paris. I almost went to Paris when I was in London.
I want to go
But
to Paris.
I think there was like a terrorist attack in Paris like the week I was in Europe.
Oh,
yeah.
crap.
I think that's why I didn't go. If I remember that correctly.
You didn't go then.
It was in, I think, what year was that? Like 2014? So let me see if this is a thing.
You were in London that long ago? That was freaking, that's 8 years ago.
That was like in high school.
No, 2014 was middle
Maybe it was
school.
2015.
Maybe.
2014 or 15.
Oh, 15, because I was in Italy at the time.
Yeah, I don't know. One of those years. Maybe I'm capping. Maybe there wasn't an attack, but
I don't know if there was an attack.
I almost went. So Paris is exciting, but I've already been to Europe, so I think I'll go with the pyramids. I mean, going to Egypt, that seems exciting.
It'd be hot as shit there.
I mean, yeah, I guess it's the freaking desert.
I want to. You know what? I'm gonna say I want to go to the Eiffel Tower, but I want to see the Taj Mahal. I feel like that'd be cool. Nobody talks about that. Why not go to India?
Yeah, I mean, not that many people go to India for like vacation. So
I know. Let's go. I could use the Indian rupees to buy everything.
What is the conversion rate for that?
I don't remember, but one of my family friends who I was just at their grad party on Sunday, he's from India, and he does AI for Facebook. He hasn't been in India in a while, but he grew up he went to college in India, I think.
One rupee is worth 1 cent.
Oh my god. I'm going to be rich if I go there then.
And that's with crazy inflation too for the dollar, so it could be worth even less.
I know, so I think I could spend 100K on a week trip in India. in 100K
how much
worth
is that?
of rupees.
$1,000 is 100K of rupees.
Yeah, I should have asked him for I should have asked him if he had a rupee on him. I wanted to see it.
Yeah, 100K is $1,200. So,
bruh.
But I don't know how expensive. Like, you might be buying like a meal might cost like 500 rupees or something. Like, I don't know.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, it probably costs for like a good meal like 10,000 rupees. Everything's jacked up.
But yeah, that's like $100, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
500 rupees is only $6. It's like a ice cream cone.
Yeah, that's funny. All right. So the next thing, I randomly saw this. The CDC adds the Caribbean beach a hotspot to its high COVID-19 risk. COVID is still going on. And I was reading this, and it's a level 3's high. It said 100 cases per 100,000 residents in the last 28 days. To me, that sounds like nothing. 100 cases out of 100,000 people. Like, what's the percentage on that? Like 0.01 or something? Is that like even? That's not even 1%.
Yeah, it's not. So I guess, that's on par with like what it's been, like less than 1% transmission. So,
and
it's
pretty. It says the other countries on level 3 are France, Germany, Greece, Ireland, Italy, the Netherlands, Norway, Portugal, Spain, and the UK. I don't know how the US isn't on there if we're considering level 3, because they always talk about cases rising in New York and these big cities like every other week. So I don't know what's good with that, but
yeah, I don't know.
And then the final question on NNN, did you like the Obi-Wan show now that it's finally finished and we could talk about
This is good. We should open with this. We should have opened with it. This should be a clip.
I liked the 100K Disney trip. That might be a clip.
Okay, yeah, and the air cruise, that was funny. No. If I knew this was going to be the show and that this is what we would have gotten, I would have said we don't need it. We don't need it for the story. It's unnecessary. There was like 2 exciting moments the whole season. And I think they just ultimately made a show that was pointless. It just didn't need to exist. The whole story, you didn't even need the story to watch like the last episode. They should, you know what they should have done? They should have
made a movie.
Actually, they should have given it a great budget. They should have made a movie. They could have made like a $200 million movie. It would have made $1 billion. People would have seen it. They could have actually made a movie with Hayden and with Ewan McGregor in it as Star Wars correctly, not like a meme like the prequels have become. it was a perfect opportunity for like a 2-hour movie that could have been very exciting, could have had its moments, and it would have been like a B+ movie. It would have been fine. But because they dragged it out, they had the shitty budget with the terrible running scenes and the people bumping into tree branches and just
Well, what's the budget
like
for like a show like this?
low
What's the
quality
average budget?
sets and everything. It could have been great, but it was unnecessary and it was a failure.
Like
They
how
should have
much
just made a
money?
movie.
How much money do people
A
spend on
lot,
budgets
probably
for
like 10 mil an
shows?
episode.
You
Like
think?
10 mil an
Like how much?
episode,
How much
yeah.
did Breaking Bad cost to make?
Well, that's completely different. At the beginning, like nothing.
Yeah, probably
But-
nothing. What
No,
about The
Breaking Bad's a bad
Sopranos?
example. That's a very different show.
The Sopranos, they use like the same sets for everything. It looks like they use
I was
like
trying
4
to think about, like,
locations.
The most expensive show, I just saw it. Oh yeah, Stranger Things. Stranger Things budget per episode was like 30 million.
Well, that's basically like Harry Potter and Star Wars type of
I
stuff
mean, yeah,
combined.
their cast is expensive too. They have like 10 people that all make like 300K per episode. So
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
I don't think
that's a huge show. I mean, it's Obi-Wan Kenobi and Star Wars. Like they could have
that should be bigger.
Yeah.
That should be bigger than Stranger Things.
Yeah, it should be.
But it's not. They should have made a movie. Yeah, I was kind of disappointed. I liked episode 5 and 6 as the public. It was cool seeing that last fight with Vader. Obviously, you were complaining, oh, the fight was stupid in episode 3. Well, they're not gonna have them like full on fight until the last episode. If you realize,
Well, at least make it. I may at least make it look like not
It wa-
stupid. They're just
it
fighting.
wasn't that stupid. I mean, he pushed
the
him into
middle
the
of
lava.
nowhere.
He threw him into the fire.
I mean, it just looked bad. It just looked. It was just. It
Well,
looked
do you
low
think
budget.
you can make? Do you think you can make something better than that?
No, because I don't know what I'm doing. But if you gave me a year with
A year.
a complete expert to teach me how to write a script and do all that, I almost guarantee I could have written something more exciting than what they gave us. With a year with an expert mentor, I could have write something better, which they should have spent the time on doing. They should have planned it out. They should have
Did
had
they plan
it
it
all
out?
set
We
up.
don't even know. Maybe they did plan it out. I don't know. Let's ask Deborah Chow. She's the director.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like
The
they.
Mandalorian blew this show out of the water. The Mando actually gave us hope in the Star Wars universe. This kind of set us back another decade.
Yeah, it did. It was a waste. It makes me not excited. Like, why should I care about anything else they make? If with these characters, this is what they
know.
produce.
It was so hyped up. The trailer was awesome, and then we get this. I'm disappointed. He's my
I genuinely
favorite
believe
character.
that. I think if you mentored me for a year with an all-time screenwriter, I could have come up with
Pick
something
any
better.
screenwriter to help you.
I don't even know that many. Like, I don't know. Just
Ask,
somebody that knows what they're doing. I
Ask
don't
Steven
even need
Spielberg.
I don't need a Hall of Famer. I just need somebody that knows what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, we did write Escape from the Bronx. That actually could be
Yeah, and
successful
that
with a
is
real
a funny
budget.
show.
I
That is a
want to
funny
make
comedy.
if that was a real show. I think that would make money. It has such a funny concept. Like, why is it not a concept yet for like a show?
I don't know why. Two college people.
Like,
living
how's
in
that
New
not a
York?
concept? Like, every other thing is like fake. Like Breaking Bad and like Soprano. I mean, I guess like the mob's real or whatever, but like all these shows, like Stranger Things, it's not real. Like all these shows
Well,
are
I guess
fake.
it's why it's a show. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but like we need like a reality show. I don't know. Well, that is it for NNN. The best journalist in the world is signing off. Please like and subscribe on YouTube. Always subscribe and leave reviews on Apple. Watch us on Spotify. We're Joe Rogan. We have a video. And follow us on follow us TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. You are lacking on the Twitter. You don't even post any of our videos. I'm very disappointed
It's
in you.
hard.
I'm gonna have to
because,
cut
listen,
some of your budget
Twitter-
away.
Twitter is a platform for text. It's not for video.
You could put
We
videos
need
with
to tweet
text.
things.
Yeah, why don't you tweet anything? It's your job to do that. It's not my job.
Listen, I don't tweet. I don't go on social media that much, honestly. I really don't.
That's such cap.
It's not cap.
You found the thing for the segment when you were on social media. Where'd you find that? Social media.
I didn't say I never.
You didn't
went
find that
on
in the newspaper.
Maybe I did. How do you know?
That's definitely not in the newspaper. I don't even know if I get newspapers delivered to my house anymore. I used to always come home from school and see like the newspaper in like this green bag. It was like, I don't know what newspaper it was,
this
but
green bag.
at least like green plastic bag. You know what I'm talking about. It'd be on the edge of my
Yeah,
like
I know what you're
driveway.
talking about.
But like now those don't deliver anymore. We're all digital. The world is crumbling. Everything's digital. Now we're gonna have digital. They're gonna have digital weddings like in space and like digital stuff like sky
on
cruises.
airplanes. Your honeymoon's
on
be on
airplanes. I'll go on the airplane thing for a couple days, but not a week.
All right, the world is digital. Thank you for consuming this digitally.
This
We'll
also
see you
could
on
be a
episode
newspaper piece.
Yeah, we'll transcribe it. Goodbye.